Well, AEW Revolution is now in the books. And what did you think of the show? This is John from WrestleScope TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. It is late on a Saturday or Sunday evening, and we are here with quick reactions to the show. Hello, Lucas. How are you doing? All right. I want to know what you thought of the show. Tell me in the comments, what did you think? I'm going to say, just to start off with, I thought it was a high 4 out of 5 pay-per-view. It wasn't perfect. There was a few things in there that I wasn't really happy about, but overall, top to bottom, this was an absolutely fantastic pay-per-view. If you didn't end up watching the pay-per-view, well, first of all, you missed out. I am going to give results and some spoilers here to what ended up happening on the show. Give me just a second here. Have to put this out. Should have did this before I started the show, but we're going to do this real quick. There we go. Get that out onto the Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, well, first of all, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be updated all the time when I go live with broadcasts here. I'm actually going to have to switch this screen because I feel like I'm looking up a little bit too much here. And also, don't forget to, and I'm going to leave this here, follow on TikTok, like on Twitter, and follow also on Instagram. And you know what? I think that's what we're going to do too. We are going to go. Let's see. Lots and lots of comments here from people. Let's see. We are going to go. We're going to go live on the TikTok as well, but we're going to do it on the smaller screen here. Hello to everybody in TikTok land. All right, let's get this set up. There we go. So we are now live on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook Live, and on Twitter. And as I said, Revolution, AEW Revolution just ended. Absolutely fantastic pay-per-view. Again, I'd give it a high 4 out of 5. Not perfect, but boy, it was hard-hitting. It was great. Let's quickly go through the results from the show on the buy-in. 3 really good matches to kick things off on the buy-in. We started off with Layla Hirsch taking on Chris Statlander in the women's division. A very hard-hitting match between these two. This was a grudge match. You've got Layla Hirsch cheating. She took one of the metal turnbuckle bars from under the ring, ended up hitting Chris Statlander in the head, moonsault, and the victory. After the match, we saw Red Velvet come out, but now we find out, jumping a little bit ahead here, Layla Hirsch will be taking on Thunder Rosa on Wednesday night in a number 1 contenders match for the AEW Women's World Championship, with the winner going on to face Britt Baker on March the 16th, I believe it is, in Texas. Yes, I'm spoiling a result there, but it is what it is. So Layla Hirsch is going to possibly get an opportunity for the AEW Women's Championship. Hello, Nick from Chicago. How are you doing? Don Callis, he comes out, and we get Kenny Omega's theme first. Everybody's thinking, oh, Kenny Omega's coming back, and Don Callis comes out, and Don Callis does what he does. And what he really did, though, is he set the stage for Kenny Omega's return and what's going to happen when Kenny Omega comes back. I've been saying this for a couple of days now, coming out of the Tony Khan media call that he had a couple of days ago, that he was asked the question about the Trios Championships, and he said he wants to hold off until Kenny Omega comes back. They've laid the groundwork. It happened tonight. We saw it in a couple of different stages. It's going to end up being Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks battling Adam Cole and Red Dragon for the first ever AEW Trios Championships, hopefully at Double or Nothing. We shall see. We ended up getting a quick squash match, really, between QT Marshall and Hook. QT Marshall did a really good job of making Hook look good. Not that Hook needed the help, but, being one of his trainers, being the veteran. Hook ended up dominating QT and submitted him with the red rum. Exactly what everybody thought this match was going to be. Another nice victory for the now 6-0 Hook. And then we got, oh my goodness, this was just an unbelievable match, and I cannot believe it was on the buy-in. You've got the House of Black, you've got Brody King, Malachi Black, and Buddy Matthews taking on 2/3 of Death Triangle, Pac, Penta Oscura, and Eric Redbeard. A lot of people were thinking, oh my goodness, Eric Redbeard, he's going to end up turning on Pac and Penta. No, we're not going to see any huge factions anymore in AEW. We're going to start seeing more and more of these 3-man units setting up for the trios championships. Very hard-hitting match. House of Black really controlling a lot of the match. Loved the big man action between Brody King and Eric Redbeard. We got some great stuff in between both Penta and Buddy Matthews and Pac and Buddy Matthews. But it ended up being Malachi Black misting Eric Redbeard, Brody King hitting the pile driver, and Malachi Black getting the victory. That first hour right there, their version of the pre-show, so much different than what WWE does. Let me tell you, it was absolutely fantastic. The action was incredible. Just yes, no Jeff Hardy on the show. That's coming on Wednesday, but we'll talk about that. 3 really good matches, exactly what you needed to kind of get the energy up for the pay-per-view. And then they kick off with Jericho versus Kingston. And this was a great way to get this show going. Eddie Kingston quickly out of the gate, hits a half-and-half suplex on Jericho, which dazed him. He rolls out of the ring. Very physical back and forth match between these two. Really, really good near falls in this match. It could have gone either way in this one. Eddie Kingston locking in the stretch plum for the submission victory. Now, Jericho had said that he was going to shake Kingston's hand after the match if he won. Well, he didn't. He was being a jerk, and he walked out of the ring and didn't do it. Excellent beginning match to the pay-per-view, 4 out of 5 match right there. We quickly go on to the first of 4. Am I correct on this? 1, 2, 3, 4 championship matches on the evening. It was the 3-way World Tag Team Championship match. You've got Jurassic Express taking on Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. And obviously, all the talk was, oh my goodness, how are Jurassic Express going to be able to overcome all of this with, you've got Red Dragon and the Young Bucks who have their alignment with the Elite, but there's been, cracks in the facade of everything there and the relationship. And I had said during my predictions that Jungle Express was going to retain because the Bucks and Red Dragon were not going to be able to, as WWE likes to talk about, coexist. And we saw it. They worked together for a little while, but then all of a sudden, the greed of wanting to be champions came into play. And I don't know what in the world. Oh my goodness. Yep, Revolution is starting all over again on my computer. This was a much better match than I thought it was going to be, quite honestly. I didn't have a lot of huge expectations for this match, simply because of the fact you've got 2 fantastic teams in the Bucks and Red Dragon, and then you've got Jungle Boy, and then you've got Luchasaurus, who's kind of the odd man out. And sorry, I'm just looking on my screen here. You've got the media scrum going on for AEW. Really nothing big going on there. So fantastic match. A lot of near falls in this match. Jungle Boy again looked like a superstar in this, and Jurassic Express was able to retain the championships. But that the heat between the Young Bucks and Red Dragon is going to continue. Then we get the Face of the Revolution ladder match. And this one is going to determine who the next contender for the TNT Championship is going to be whoever ends up winning the match between Scorpio Sky and Sammy Guevara on Wednesday night's Dynamite will face the winner of this match. You've got Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, Keith Lee, Ricky Starks, Christian Cage. Oh my goodness, and Orange Cassidy. And a couple of really cool moments in this. First, you get the big three beefy guys and Wardlow, Hobbs, and Keith Lee together, ready to face off. And then Orange Cassidy comes in and does his Orange Cassidy. A lot of great spots in here. A lot of interesting ladder spots, especially with some of the bigger guys. I think the coolest thing that we saw in this match was up by the announcer's table. You've got Keith Lee and Powerhouse Hobbs up there ready to launch each other off of the stage onto the tables, and out of nowhere comes Wardlow and just plants them through the tables on the floor, taking them out. We finally get to see a couple of power bombs from Wardlow in the ring. He power bombs Christian Cage, and then in a very scary looking moment, he power bombs Ricky Starks off of a ladder that they're standing on onto a ladder that was leaned up against the ladder and the ropes. Did not look like a very clean move. Ricky Starks did tweet that he was okay, so thankfully he was not injured, and Wardlow becomes the face of the Revolution. I had this match between Wardlow and Keith Lee. I really thought it was going to be Keith Lee. Very surprised that they are pulling the trigger on this Wardlow push now, and we'll talk about it more in a little bit here when we get to the dog collar match, but they're making it happen now. They're making it happen now. This was a super entertaining match when you've got three big men in there, a veteran like Christian Cage, two younger talents like Orange Cassidy and Ricky Starks. It hit all the right notes. Absolutely all the right notes. After this, I believe it was right after this, we get the introduction of the newest AEW signing, Shane Swerve Strickland. That's right. The realist is all elite, and I couldn't be more excited. Is he going to be a babyface? Is he going to be a heel? Who knows? I can't wait to see who he's going to go after first. The match that I wasn't sure how it was going to be, and I was pleasantly surprised in this one, the TBS Championship, the undefeated champion, Jade Cargill, taking on one of my favorite wrestlers in the world, Ty Conti. And there was some really good build-up to this match between these two ladies. And I tweeted this out, and I'm going to stand by this. This was hands down the best match Jade Cargill has had. I was unsure when I did my predictions just how well this was going to go. Zach, I'm going to get into that in just a minute. I'm going to get into your question about the main event in just a minute here. No, I'm done. I'm done watching. The pay-per-view is over. So Jade Cargill looked great. And she added some moves into her move set, countered a lot of things that Ty Conti was doing, and these two actually worked very well in the ring together. Jade Cargill hitting the Jaded to go 29-0 and retain her championship in, again, what I think was the best match of her career. Her working with Bryan Danielson behind the scenes on her in-ring ability is really paying off. Who's going to be next for her? Don't know. Don't really know. Maybe it'll be a debut of someone. I'd like to see that, because it's really hard to see after everybody she's gone through and now Ty Conti who the next opponent for her is going to be. But we shall see. On to the match that this was my highly anticipated match for the night, the dog collar match between CM Punk and MJF. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. It definitely met my expectations. This top to bottom was a 5 out of 5 match for sure. CM Punk comes out to his old Ring of Honor theme wearing the white boxing shorts. The only thing that would have been cool is if he dyed some of his hair blonde. That would have been even better, but I didn't think he was going to go that route. This match was bloody. It was brutal. A lot of bleeding from CM Punk. They played well into the whole utilizing the chain that's attached to the dog collars. MJF using it on Punk's knee. Punk using it, doing things to MJF's right hand. A lot of hard hitting. Bag of thumbtacks came out from MJF. Both men ended up going into the tacks. CM Punk really just kind of glanced the thumbtacks. MJF went hard into him. But the moment of the match, MJF gets control of the match. He's got Punk down. He leans on the ropes and he starts calling for Wardlow, knowing that he needs help and he needs that ring. He needs the Dynamite Diamond ring. So Wardlow comes down to the ring. He's just looking awesome in his suit, coming down. Absolutely looked fantastic. Is digging around in his left pocket for the ring and he can't find it. It's not there. He's like, hey, sorry, don't know what to tell you. Punk comes up behind him, hits the GTS onto the thumbtacks, and all of a sudden Wardlow reaches into his right pocket and he looks into the camera and says, oops, holds up the ring, lays it down on the apron for CM Punk, and he walks away. And Punk picks up the ring and just pops MJF with it and pins him. But we get the full turn of Wardlow, what has been teased for so long. We didn't end up seeing Shawn Spears, which was good. We didn't get any outside interference. Outside of Wardlow coming in, that was it. It was a true one-on-one match. CM Punk gets his retribution against MJF, and we see the full babyface turn of Wardlow now, which was cool to see. So definitely a 5 out of 5 match. This match met up with all the expectations, with everything that had been built up. Hopefully both of these men will move on from this now. I don't know what else they can do in this feud, honestly. So I sincerely hope that they move on from this. And Tony Khan has even said that new things are going to start after Revolution. It's going to be a new starting point. So hopefully that means new things for MJF. We go on to the AEW Women's World Championship match. And I got to say, I was actually disappointed in this match. I had high expectations for it, knowing how well these two women work together. And they did a lot of good things. I'd say the first 3/4 of this match was really good. But then all of a sudden we get the Rebel and Jamie Hayter involvement again. And it took away from it. Couple of pin attempts, couple of submission attempts by Thunder Rosa, and Rebel and Jamie Hayter both get involved, distracting the referee. And then Britt Baker does end up retaining the championship after a I think it was a third curb stomp. A second one onto the title belt and another one. Hello there, Carol. How are you? Surprised to see you still up so late, unless you were watching Revolution. Great to be back on here. Good to see people on here. Again, if there was any match that was a disappointment for me for the evening, it was this one. I had much higher expectations for this match, and it was in a really tough spot too, because it was that match that came after Punk MJF. And I just don't think the crowd was fully into it. We were on such an emotional high after Punk MJF, and then all of a sudden, the ending of the women's match, I'm assuming, yeah, that did too. But as I was saying earlier on with what happened, with Layla Hirsch winning in the buy-in. Layla Hirsch gets her shot at a championship contenders match. She will be taking on Thunder Rosa Wednesday night at Dynamite. The winner of that match will go on to face Britt Baker for the AEW Women's World Championship in Texas at what are they calling it? AEW Slam, whatever they're calling it. It's going to be in Texas. Thunder Rosa is going to end up winning the belt there. It's going to be kind of a hometown pop for her. So that's what that whole thing was leading up to it. Yep, she should have, but they want her to win it in Texas. They want her to win it in Texas. Then we go on to my second favorite match of the night. It was Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. Not a long build on this one, but boy, what they've done has been fantastic. And this match was exactly what you thought it was going to be, much like Punk and MJF. This was just a hard-fought, brutal battle. Both guys getting busted open, more so Moxley than anything else. Hitting a lot of their great moves. Moxley just showing why he is so much better post WWE, but so is Bryan Danielson. They went back and forth, and it looked like Danielson was going to defeat Moxley in the triangle submission, but Mox was able to flip it over and reverse it into a pin, though, if you look carefully, Bryan Danielson's right shoulder was not down to the mat, but I don't think they're going to play into that. Following the match, the guys continued to just beat on each other. They wouldn't stop. Security comes out, and then all of a sudden, who shows up but William Regal? William Regal, who has a history with both Mox and Danielson in training both of them and teaching both of them. He comes into the ring, gets into Moxley's face, slaps him, tells him to stop. Danielson is behind him smiling, yeah. Regal turns around, bam, slaps him too, and basically gets those two to shake hands in the middle of the ring. Are we going to see an alliance between William Regal, Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson? Oh my word. Please, yes, make it happen. Absolutely. Yes, Carol, that was the shock of the night. There was nobody on social media that had predicted William Regal showing up here tonight. Nobody. If anybody claims they did, they are lying. Nobody did. Okay. My surprise match of the night, the Trios Tag Team Tornado match. Now, this was the match that they had to put in as a buffer between whatever was going to be before the World Championship match and the World Championship match. They needed something in there, and I didn't have high expectations for this match. And boy, this one, back to Danielson Moxley, 5 out of 5. Definitely a 5 out of 5. The Trios Tag Team match was much better than I expected. I didn't, there's good talent in this match. You've got Darby and Sammy and Andrade in there, Matt Hardy and Sting, the veterans, Isaiah Cassidy, who's a talent himself. I put it in my notes here. This was a good palate cleanser match. Had a lot of high spots, a lot of fun outside the ring. Sammy Guevara hitting a very scary looking Spanish fly off of the entranceway through a pair of tables on Isaiah Cassidy. I thought Sammy Guevara actually took the harder part of the hit than Isaiah Cassidy did. Sting immediately after that, up in the crowd, hitting a splash off of the upper area onto Andrade through a tower of tables. 62, soon to be 63-year-old Sting doing these crazy spots. And then, well, the match did end up on kind of a dud note, as I don't know what happened with Matt Hardy. He was in the middle of the ring, a little bit further than I think Darby is used to going. Darby Allin goes up for the coffin drop, and instead of leaning into it or sliding into it, Matt Hardy started rolling away from it. And all Darby hit was his arm, his right arm over him, but he still wins with the botched coffin drop. I'm not really sure what ended up happening there. Yeah, Sting jumped through 3 tables at 62 years old. Sting is a legend. Hold on a second. Wait, a decent show? A decent show? Come on. It wasn't perfect, but man, this was a really entertaining pay-per-view. Yes, it was 5 hours long with the buy-in, but boy, it just kept moving and moving and moving. I loved it. And then we get the World Championship match, and I was a little worried about this one going in after everything that we had earlier in the evening. You know, Jericho Kingston, the dog collar match, Danielson Moxley, even that trios tag team match. But you had so many really good matches prior to that. Were Adam Cole and Hangman Adam Page going to be able to live up to it? And I'll tell you, they did an absolutely fantastic job. I think the history between these two guys and how well they know each other definitely helped out in this match. We saw a spot early on where Hangman Adam Page ended up trying to clothesline Adam Cole, who was up against the ring post, and he missed, and he ended up hitting the ring post with his arm, which obviously was going to play into the entire buckshot lariat. Adam Cole just being Adam Cole. It was a great match back and forth between the two. We did end up seeing Red Dragon coming out at one point in time to interfere, which we knew was going to end up happening. Dark Order coming down a little bit later after a great table spot by Adam Page. Hangman threw a table on the outside with Adam Cole. They came to check on him. The thing that was interesting, and I don't know how many people noticed, was Alex Reynolds was attempting to pick up Adam Page, and Hangman ended up pushing Alex Reynolds away and pushing him into Bobby Fish, and that just started the whole big brawl between Dark Order and Red Dragon, getting them out of there. But could we see a little bit of dissent happening again between Hangman and the Dark Order? Or was it just out of frustration, get out of my way, I need to do this? I don't know. It was at that point that I think they lost the fans that were in attendance, because I don't know if I misheard it. I don't know if I heard it incorrectly, but it really sounded after that point that fans were actually starting to boo the match, which is very disappointing, because Cole and Page put on a really good main event match. Was it better than Danielson Moxley? Was it better than the dog collar match? No, it was probably the third best match, maybe even the fourth best match on the pay-per-view, which is hard to say. But we had just some amazing spots from Adam Cole, a couple of different Panama Sunrises, one on the floor. We had Hangman Adam Page counter multiple different finishing opportunities from Adam Cole. He hit the boom, but he either forgot or neglected to move the knee pad down, so Hangman kicks out of that, and then Hangman hits his own. He hits the buckshot lariat, but Cole was too close to the ropes. Then we get Hangman just kind of loses it, and then all of a sudden he goes, lowers his knee pad, hits the boom, hits the buckshot lariat, and retains the championship. Yes, they did great. So many near falls in that match. Okay, yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that. And thank you very much. I appreciate you guys being on here now, as watching what I'm doing and following me on Twitter as well. No, I don't think that's gonna happen quite yet. We may see Adam Page realign with somebody from his Bullet Club history after he loses the title to MJF, which is probably going to end up happening at Double or Nothing. I'd have to give that match probably a 3.5 out of 5. I think the involvement of Red Dragon and Dark Order really took a half a point off of the match. The fans near the end, which I think they were just emotionally spent after everything they saw this evening. I don't think it was going to matter who the main event was. With everything else that was leading into that, they were in a tough spot. They really were. But Hangman Adam Page retains the championship. Lot of references tonight into Ring of Honor. A lot of references about Ring of Honor, which means I would not be shocked if we see Ring of Honor talent on Dynamite on Wednesday night. I don't know. We'll have to see. We will have to see. But overall, I thought this was an absolutely fantastic pay-per-view. Yeah, there was a couple of down spots in here, but overall, it was just a really good show from top to bottom. No real super dud matches. There was just a few dud points in matches. Again, I would give this a high 4 out of 5. Not a perfect pay-per-view, but pretty doggone close to it. And what shocked me was there was not a single championship change on the evening. Not a single one, which surprised me a lot. That won't come until All Out in September, and maybe even later than that. It may be Revolution next year. Either Full Gear or Revolution. Well, did you end up hearing Kenny's music play on the buy-in? We did get it once. I was expecting somebody to come out at the end of the show. I really was. And the fact that nobody did was kind of surprising, but I think they're going to save that for Dynamite. But the question is, what is next? What is next for Hangman Adam Page? Who's going to be his next championship contender? I don't know. Is it going to be somebody new? Is it going to be somebody that's already here? How soon are we going to see the return of Kenny Omega? I think it's got to happen soon. I don't know what things are for him as far as his recovery from injuries, but I really think I'm assuming you're talking about MJF Wardlow. Yeah, we're not going to see that anytime soon. MJF, I would not be surprised if MJF somehow ends up costing Wardlow the TNT championship, though it would be really cool. No offense to Sammy Guevara, but I think it would be kind of cool to see Wardlow end up winning that TNT championship. And wouldn't it be ironic if he's the one that wins gold before MJF does? How ticked off can you see MJF being if that happens? Lucas, you say CM Punk. That's a possibility. He got that big marquee victory, and that would be a heck of a match for Hangman Adam Page. But with the next pay-per-view being Double or Nothing in May, would they do Punk versus Page, on a special show on Dynamite? I don't know. It's a possibility. And you save MJF versus Page for Double or Nothing. We shall see. But overall, I thought it was a really, really good really good show, top to bottom. You could definitely see some things being set up for the future, but a lot of other things, the doors closed. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Already late and I'm yawning. It's definitely one I want to watch again. I would definitely watch this one again, with the exception, the two women's matches. No offense to the ladies, don't need to watch those again. I would certainly watch the match between the House of Black Pack, Penta and Eric Redbeard again for sure. Jericho Kingston, the dog collar match, Danielson Moxley. I would watch all of those again because they were just fantastic matches. One thing I want to do here real quick, I'm going to go into Fightful Select, had a live discussion going on with live notes from the show, and doesn't look like they've posted anything. The one big thing that they did say is Kenny Omega was there, but it was because he's handling EVP duties during his time off. He was the one that actually talked to Brian Cage about AEW exercising their contract option. So, Paige Van Zant was obviously in attendance, but they really put a lot of attention on Dan Lambert and Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Paige Van Zant with everything that was going on that evening. So I'm not sure what that's going to mean for Dynamite. Obviously, Paige Van Zant is going to be getting her contract. Let's see. They're saying in the media scrum, CM Punk actually broke down crying. He was very emotional on the evening, talking about how much he loved Ring of Honor. It was so great to see just how into things he was for the night. One of these days, hopefully I'll be able to be involved in one of those media scrums at an AEW show, but we'll see down the road. But that's it. Leave your comments here. Tell me your thoughts on what you thought about AEW's Revolution tonight and what's going to be next. We already know a couple of matches that have been signed for the next couple of weeks here. The door's been open for a lot of different things. I can't wait to see what they are going to do. Galaxy Wolf, thank you very much for sharing. I think I missed another share as well. Thank you very much for tuning in. That's all I got for tonight, though. I will be back on Monday. If there's any other breaking news coming out of Revolution, any other stuff coming out of the media scrum, we'll talk about that. If there's new updated news on Cody Rhodes, obviously he didn't show back up in AEW. We shall see. But going to be continuing on. This is day number, let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 6th day in a row of broadcasting live here on YouTube. 4 in a row actually for Twitch and Facebook Live. We're going to see what's continuing on with, or we're going to see how long we can continue on with this with daily shows. Let's see. Let me go to the comments here real quick. Let's see. It's possible we could possibly see like a Jonathan Gresham or somebody else from Ring of Honor in a title match. We shall see. I still think we're going to see some sort of a Ring of Honor invasion. Yep, Hook. Got to tell you, the kid is great. I mean, he's good at his character. He's good at what he's doing. Really enjoying what he's doing. He's going to eventually be a TNT champion for sure. I think maybe a little bit later on in the year, you got to have a heel as the champion and have him be the one that beats him. I think that'd be cool. I like the new Women's World Championship belt, and I'm kind of shocked that with debuting a new title that they didn't give the title to Thunder Rosa. But the evolution of the belt has been fantastic. I hated the very first AEW Women's Championship belt. I thought it looked terrible. And this new one is getting much closer to the AEW World Championship title belt. So very happy about that one. All right. I am going to get out of here now. It is getting late. I appreciate any of you that have tuned in, especially any of you that may be on the East Coast where it's almost 1 a.m. I got to go because it looks like I'm going to end up having to get up early and shovel some snow before I the Philadelphia Eagles fan. How would I rate Revolution? I would give it a high 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5 as far as a pay-per-view. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic show with a pair of 5-star matches with Punk and MJF and Danielson and Moxley. some other very solid matches. The only downfalls were just, a few spots and a finish or two in a couple of matches. But other than that, I was entertained through and through watching this show. And Luke Owen from Wrestle Talk said it perfectly. Had a bloody lovely time watching AEW Revolution. An excellent show. Could not agree more. Well, thank you very much for tuning in this evening. I greatly appreciate it. I will be back Monday at 12 noon Central Time with more talk, and maybe a short one, maybe a long one. We will go live on Twitch, Facebook Live, YouTube, and TikTok. Again, I'm going to work on getting the Instagram Live going as well. My name is John. This is WrestleScope. Again, please follow me on all my different social medias. Easiest thing to do is actually click on my bio wherever you're watching me. You can click on the link tree and you can find me wherever I'm at. Oh, thank you very much. I need to send out a thank you. I sent out a TikTok earlier today. I was like 50 followers away from 4,000 on TikTok. Wanted to get to that by the time Revolution started, and we blew past 4,000. So thank you very much. On our way to 10,000. That's my goal on TikTok is 10,000. My goal here on YouTube is to get to 1,000. My goal on Twitch is just to get as many hours logged as I possibly can here because trying to monetize the channel. Okay. One more question here from Lucas, trying to get back up to the screen. I don't think they will. Ashanti the Adonis may end up showing up, but Top Dollar will not. Top Dollar has burned a few too many bridges in the world of wrestling, and he will not show up. Though I thought I had heard a report that he was actually signed back on for the AEW WWE Hidden Treasure show that he was the host of before, that he's been re-signed on for that, which I find very interesting after his release. I'm going to see if I can get some more information on that, and we can talk about that more. Zach, thank you very much for the likes. Thank you for the share as well. Greatly appreciate that. Appreciate everybody tuning in this evening. Again, my name is John from WrestleScope TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. And always, wherever you may be, please like the channel, like the account. If there is a subscribe option, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified every time I go live with a broadcast. Have a great night, everybody. Hope you enjoyed AEW Revolution, and I'll be back at 12 noon Central Time on Monday to talk more professional wrestling. Have a great night, everybody. We will talk to you soon.